Hi guys, got our power rankings video for you. So let's get it started. Number 32, I get the New York Giants. Are 2-12 now. I get them at 32 from last week. Congrats, Giants! You helped your tank by losing again. That's literally what a lot of these teams are just hoping. Like all these teams in the bottom row before, just like they don't really, no, their fans don't really want too many wins. I'm sure just because yeah, hey, we won, but our season's over. We might as well help our tank and get a higher pick. They lost 35-14 to the Ravens. No surprise there, they got blown out. So yeah, we'll see. They did the quarterback situation the rest of the year. They're 31 against the Tennessee Titans. They're 3-11 now. Kept them at 31 from last week as well. They lost 37-27 to the Bengals. And yeah, they put up 27 points, but it's also against the terrible Bengals D. It's and then their defense get let up 37. And it's just yeah, their Bengals defense is terrible. It's not saying much if we put up a lot of points on their defense this year. But good on them. Good enough all points, I guess. So yeah. Number 30 got the Las Vegas Raiders. They're 2-12 now. I get them at 30 from last week. Bottom three, I didn't move at all. It's just they're all pretty bad right now. It's hard to really move them much, so I didn't. The Raiders, they lost to. Who did they lose to? They lost to the Falcons on Monday night, 15-9. They kept it close. They gave up a rare safety. Usually don't really see those a ton every season. So yeah, that sucked. Made Kirk cut. You helped the Falcons finally decide to bench Kirk Cousins and put in Penix. Yeah, he kept it close. So yeah. Number 29, I get the New England Patriots. You got our first movement of this week. They're 3-11 now. Moved them down one spot from 28 last week. They lost to. They moved those to. They lost. Sorry, I'm blanking on who they lost to the Cardinals 30-17. Sorry, I missed that. But yeah, they lost the two scores to the Cardinals. But hey, same thing I've been said our these first few teams. They're so these bottom four teams didn't really expect much this year. Raiders expect maybe be a little better than this. Same with the Giant Titans, but nobody really thought they'd be playoff teams. Nobody really thought they would be this bad, but so yeah, Patriots still probably everybody's kind of expecting not to be very good. So yeah, hey, at least May's looking good. Number 28 got the Jacksonville Jaguars, 3-11 now, with them up one spot from 29 last week. They lost to the Jets 32-25. Said they lost, but they kept it within one score. And it falls against a bad Jets team. And I just felt like the Patriots did a little worse than them, so that's why I changed those two spots. But it was close. It wasn't that much. It wasn't moved by that much, obviously. So yeah, number 27, we got the Cleveland Browns. They're also 3-11 now. With them down from 21 spot from 26 last week. They lost 21-7 to the Chiefs. They benched Jameis. Sounds like Dorian Thompson Robinson will be starting this week. So yeah, I guess they're done with Winston's going for it all mentality now. And so they're going for Robinson. I know he's going to do even better. Might throw some less picks, but he also not going to be throwing as many touchdowns. So yeah. Number 26 got the Carolina Panthers. They're 3-11 now. And then down a couple spots from 24 last week. They lost to the Cowboys 30-14 after being favored for the first time in a game. So I think it was 2020, sometime in 2022. I don't know what the exact week it was. That's a crazy long time not to go favorite, and you ended up losing anyways. That I had moving up a decent amount just the seconds. They've been losing obviously, but they've been doing decent. But now it's just they lost to not that good of a Cowboys team without Dak. So I decided to move them back down a few spots. So yeah. So yeah, that's it for this slide. Let's go to the top 25. Number 25, got the New York Jets. They're 4-10 now. With them up a couple spots from 27 last week. finally have another team. We finally have a team with a win this week. Like I said, the Jags won. They beat the Jags 32-25. So good them getting a win, but you hurt your chances of getting a higher pick. With how many bad teams are out on the NFL, with like their records wise, Jets are most likely not knock themselves out of number one overall pick contention. It's gonna be tough for them anyways, but especially now because there's two 2-win teams, and for the Jets to get them one pick, they would have to have all these 2-win teams and all these 3-win teams win at least a game or two. I don't know how the tiebreakers would go for that exactly, but yeah, it's very unlikely. So congrats. Yeah. But yeah, I guess congrats on them getting a win. Or 24, got the New Orleans Saints. They're 5-9 now. Moved them up one spot from 25 last week. They lost 20-19 to the Commanders. Shouldn't even been that close because the refs somehow accidentally stopped the clock at the end of the game and just clock stopped for I think 4 seconds, and they gave them no time to run play. Got a touchdown, but they failed the 2-point conversion. So it's if they had gotten that 2-point and won that game, we'd be here. I'm sure we'd be hearing a lot more about it. But they didn't win though. So I guess Saints are a little closer to the end of the season. A lot of these teams just when's the season over? After this, there's a couple teams that maybe can there's a team maybe the Cowboys can miraculously make the playoffs, but in the bottom, if they're every team under 21 and under are not making the playoffs, aren't a huge surprise. The only reason the Falcons even have a chance of making their playoffs is just because they have the tiebreaker over the Bucks because they swept them, so there's a chance. But even then, it's not very likely to happen. So yeah, and then after that, it's literally then that's how 18 again. The Cardinals can only get in if they win the division. Bengals are highly unlikely to make the playoffs as well. So it's at this point in the season, you kind of know who a lot of the teams that playoff teams are going to be. You don't some of them might change, but it's a lot of teams that got eliminated now, and even teams that haven't been eliminated, it's going to be really tough for them to get in. Same the Bengals, the Niners. So yeah. But yeah, I guess the Saints almost winning, I guess. Number 23, got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 6-8 now. Get them at 23 from last week. Beat the Panthers 30-14. Yeah, you won, but there's only that wasn't good enough for me to move them up. It just wasn't. So yeah, I just kept them. But hey, at least you won, I guess. So yeah, number 22 got the Indianapolis Colts. They're 6-8 now. Moving down one spot from 21 last week. They lost 31-13 to the Broncos. They gave up a ton of unanswered points, so they could have almost could have won if they didn't do that. Also didn't help Jonathan Taylor fumbling the ball at the goal line. Nobody touched him. They just accidentally. I don't really know what I can say an accident. It's why do players do that? Why? Definitely didn't help you win in, and now you're out of the playoffs. So yeah. Then 21, they get Chicago Bears. They're 4-10 now. They're down one spot from 20 last week. They lost to the Vikings 30-12. Yeah, technically it could have easily been even. It could have easily been 30-6. So you got a late garbage time touchdown. The Bears did. So yeah, they got blown out. Their O-line looked bad. Their rookie tackle, Kieran Denji, something like that. I probably butchered his name there. He did not do good at all. He literally, when he got drafted by them in this offseason, he literally said, "Well, he's not to be good. He's gonna be clean or whatever." Tell them after that game. Literally, literally on the first drive, he gave up a strip sack. That it's early, you never know. If that doesn't happen, maybe the Bears get a touchdown and it completely changes the momentum of the game. Instead, that happens, and Vikings just roll from there pretty much. So yeah, number 20, you got the Atlanta Falcons. They're 7-7 now. Them up a couple spots from 22 last week. Beat the Raiders 15-19. So yeah, they be a bad team, but part of it was them benching Kirk for Penix. I don't know if Penix is going to be doing much better, but with how bad Kirk's been doing lately with all the picks and barely any touchdowns, you can't do much worse. It's like Kirk finally threw a touchdown this last week. It's early in the game, and then the Falcons only got a couple field goals and safety. So it's just like, yeah, and you barely beat a bad Raiders team. The Raiders don't even have a good defense. They didn't have Max Crosby. So, yeah. Number 19 got the Miami Dolphins. They're 6-8 now. Kept them at 18 from last week. They lost to the Texans 2012. So they only lost by one score. Their season's pretty much over at this point. And Tyreek Hill's having a lot of players in your office having a down year. See if the NAACP Calais Campbell came out that they are considering releasing him so he can sign a contender. He hasn't said anything about retirement, but this is probably his last year. He is in his super late 30s at this point. Like he's been in the league forever, it seems like. So yeah, tough loss, but yeah. Number 18 got the Arizona Cardinals. They're 7-7 now. Kept them at 18 from last week. They beat the Patriots 30-17. So them getting the win. Still have a chance to win your division. It's going to be tough just because the Rams are looking really good right now. Seahawks are looking decent as well. Seahawks did have to have a big loss to the Packers, but Seahawks are still looking decent. They have a one more win. So we'll see how the Cardinals can do, but their losing streak they just had at the end of this week definitely didn't have the chance to win their division. We'll see. Number 17 got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 6-8 now. Kept them at 17 from last week. They beat the Titans 37-27. So again, them we get a win. Just tough to move them up, especially because it's like, yeah, you won, but like your offense can only keep on doing this so much longer with how bad your defense is. Like it's all like they've had it happen multiple times this year where their defense was so bad, their offense had a great game, and they still lost. I'd sure to have them happen one more time. And even if they win out, it's still be real tough for them to make the playoffs. So, but we'll see what happens. Number 16, they got the Seattle Seahawks. They're 8-6 now. They had a couple spots from 14 last week. They lost to the Packers 30-13. So they got blown out, and just he just did. Like Geno got hurt, Hal went in. Both of them had struggles. We'll see if Geno ends up coming back this week against the Vikings. It's a big game, especially since with how the Rams are playing. Like if you lose this game, the Rams. What's the Rams' record again? They both have the same record. So like if you lose how the Rams are playing, like it's gonna be real tough to win that division over them, and it's gonna be tough. It's just with this loss, it's gonna be tough for you to get into a wild card because the Commanders have 9 wins, I believe. So yeah, you do face the Rams last week this season, and then you had the Vikings this week, probably be a loss. Then you face the Bears on Thursday night, so that should be a win. So, but then you faced the Rams last week, so that could determine the division winner right there. Let's see what happens. Does look like Geno was a full participant in practice. That usually means he'll be good to go, but never know for sure. It could be a setback. But yeah, again, them tough loss. We'll see what happens with their division. Let's go to top 15. Number 15 got the Houston Texans. They're 9-5 now. I kept them at 15 from last week. They have clinched their division. They are, I believe, the third team to clinch their division now because the Chiefs and Bills did it. So you have 3 teams have clinched their division already this year, and all of them are in AFC. So we already know the 3 teams are going to be getting at least one home playoff game in AFC. And again, them getting a win, clinch their division. Wasn't a bad division, but hey, it didn't do what Titans and Jags have done the last 2 years and collapsed at the second half of the season. They lost it. I mean, they haven't looked the greatest the second half, but they did good enough to win their division. Number 14 got the San Francisco 49ers. They're 6-8 now, moving down a couple spots from 12 last week. They lost to the Rams 12-6 on Thursday night. So he gave up no touchdowns, but he also scored no touchdowns. It's just like that. It's tough. You have a ton of injuries. Like Debo's not look good. He's not looking good at all, which sucks. So it's like, wasn't Jawan Jennings having a good year? like your RC room would be terrible. But then, also NFL stop showing. Why did he show a guy that looked nothing like Trent Williams when you were saying this is Trent Williams? Like, do you not recognize a future Hall of Fame left tackle? Like, come on. So yeah, number 13 got the LA Chargers. They're 8-6 now. With them down a few spots. Sorry, from 10 last week. They got blown out by the Bucks, 40-17. So you got blown out by 3 scores. So that's a tough loss. You just did not look that good, but like the Bucks are another team that's looked a lot better in the second half. Like there's some teams that look terrible in the second half. Like, well, obviously they are, but like some teams that look a lot worse in the second half, and there's some teams that look a lot better in the second half. One example is the team they lost to, the Bucks. Like ever since they got a lot more healthy, the Bucks have looked a lot better lately. The Rams, they same thing. They got a lot more healthy. They're gonna look a lot better. So yeah, tough loss, and that's why I moved up the team. I felt like moving them being the other team, 3 scores was nothing moving up in front of them. So at number 12 are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 8-6 now, with them up 4 spots from 16 last week. A biggest mover, but pretty easily. Like you don't really see a lot of that big mover uppers this late in the season, just because you kind of know what you have in most teams, barring a team just having a ton of injuries. Picking the Bucks again to win. Like you still have to win out. Like pretty much have to win out. If the Falcons win out, you have to win out, because if you lose one game and the Falcons somehow win out, the Falcons win the division because they have the tiebreaker because you got swept by them. Obviously, that doesn't mean something will happen, but it can happen. You never know. So yeah, we'll see. You know what? Let's look. What is the Buccaneers and Falcons remaining schedule? So the Bucks. So they face. So yeah, they should be able to win out. Like their next 3 games are all games they should really win. Like they should beat the Cowboys this week. They should beat the Panthers, and they should beat the Saints. Probably Saints and Panthers probably be tough just because they are 2 in-division games. Like the NFC South isn't like the toughest division that always play each other great, but the Panthers are like decent lately. Saints will see. They might have more injuries by then, but yeah, they could win out. All they have to do to clinch your division for sure is not lose a single game. Honestly, it's easier said than done. Even with that easier schedule, you can still lose, even if you're not expecting upsets to happen. And the Falcons, at best they probably go 2-1. Like they got the Giants this week, and then they got the Commanders next week. So that'd probably be a loss. And then you face the Falcons the final week. Panthers final week this season. So we'll see. It's going to be a tight race for that division. We'll see what happens. Number 11, got the Denver Broncos. They're 9-5 now, with them up a couple spots from 13 last week. They beat the Colts 31-13. Is that the score I said? Yep, 31-13. Definitely helped them that fumble at the one. I think it was like pretty much at the 1 by Jonathan Taylor, but hey, still won. I think you're 1 away from making the playoff spot. And if you aren't officially, you should be making the playoffs at 10 wins. Even if you won't be able to win your division because the Chiefs already clinched it. Again, they might finally should be able to make the playoffs for the first time since they won the Super Bowl in 2015. That's crazy. Like, you went from winning the Super Bowl to now making the playoffs for almost 10 years. So yeah. Number 10 got the LA Rams. They're 8-6 now, with them up 1 spot from 11 last week. They got a big in-division win against the Niners. Pretty much knocked the Niners out of contention for winning the division. Really helped your chances of winning your division. Like with how they're looking lately, there's a good chance they win out. It just is. And like they play the Jets, that should be easy win. Around 2 weeks for the Cardinals and Seahawks, 2 big in-division ones. Like, yeah, you win out, you should get that division. It's pretty much that simple. Let's see. Like at this point, this is when you start looking at division races, because it's just like, once at this point, the most division teams, like they'll probably face each other once more. not too many teams have faced another team in the division twice yet. Some have, like Vikings already just played the Bears twice. Falcons and Bucks play each other twice. They're the top examples I can think of. But a lot of teams still have to face at least one, probably two of their teams in their division. So we'll see what happens. Number 9, you got the Washington Commanders, 9-5 now. Hit them a 9 from last week. They beat the Saints 2019. And yeah, they barely won, but you still won. Since you barely won, I didn't move you up. I did feel like that you barely won wasn't good enough to move up in front of the Steelers, even after their major loss. Again, they're going to win. But the Eagles win, it's going to be real tough for you to win the division. Like, it's still possible. Obviously, like, until officially knocked out of division contention, you're still possible. Like, you face Falcons on Sunday night. So, yeah, big. Like, if you lose this week, you're officially out of it. So, like, to have a chance in division, you have to win out, and the Eagles lose out. So you have to beat the Eagles this week. And even then, I don't know if you win the division because I don't know. It would go based on, then it would go off in division record. My Commanders might have a better division record just because they have them winning 2 more division games. The Eagles losing 2 more division games. But yeah, we'll see. Number 8, got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 10-4 now. They're down 1 spot from 7 last week. They lost to the Eagles big time. They lost to them. There we go. 27-13. So you lost by 2 scores. Not do very good. Like you didn't get beat too bad by Saquon. Yeah, tough loss. But hey, you got a big match against the Ravens. If you win this, you clinch your division. You lose it, you still have a chance, but it's gonna be tough. So we'll see. Number 7, got the Green Bay Packers. They're 10-4 now. Moved them up 1 spot from 8 last week. They beat the Seahawks 30-13. It's a big win there. Kept yourself in having a chance at the number 5 seed. Like your chances at the division is over. I think it's swept by Lions. We'll see if they lose this week and the Vikings win this week. They are officially the best. They can be the 6th seed. Yeah, because if they beat the Vikings next week, they would still have they still want to be able to get to the amount of wins the Vikings have because they would have 5 losses. The Vikings would have 13 wins. Play Saints on Monday night. That should be a win. And then they face the Vikings next week. Like that Vikings game next week, going to be a big one. So we'll see. Number 6, got the Baltimore Ravens. They're 9-5 now. Get them at 6 from last week. They beat the Giants 35-14. Good news, blowing out a bad Giants team, but it's also a really bad Giants team. So I just didn't think there was enough to move them up. Especially except for the Lions, the top teams in the top 5 all did good. So yeah. Lions still did good, but they lost. Yeah. Now let's go to top 5. Number 5, got the Minnesota Vikings. They're 12-2 now, moved them down 1 spot from 4 last week. They did great. They played up the Bears. It's just moving them down just because the Bills are blowing them last week, and the Bills did good. So I felt like that was enough to move them up in front of them. So I just resulted to move them down. So I didn't want to move the Lions all the way down to 1-5. I didn't think they did that bad. Again, them going to win. They went out. They can win their division and have a chance at the number 1 seed. I don't know for sure because they haven't faced the Eagles this year, and if the Eagles win out as well, they would have the same record. So we'll see what happens there if that happens. So I think at that point it would come down to a strength of schedule, like strength on wins. I don't know for sure so you'll see. Might be the same 2 top teams as 2017. Like nobody really saw either the Vikings being this high this year or in 2017. Eagles, everybody thought they'd be good, but so I don't really know if they for sure thought they'd be number 1 seed. But yeah, number 4 got the Detroit Lions. They're 12-2 now. Then down 3 spots from one last week. Yeah, they lost, but they kept kind of was close, I guess, but it was also garbage time touchdown. Like when they scored that touchdown late, there was not enough time for another drive to get another touchdown, take the lead. And part of the reason moved them down this far, they also a pretty good looking Bills team right now. It's because their injuries. Like they just lost Aleem McNeil for the year. They just lost Carlton Davis for totally Tennessee championship game. They lost David Montgomery most likely for the season. Like they have so many more. They have so many injuries, and they just got 3 more. So it's just like that's really tough. You can only do so good with this many injuries for so long. And number 3 got the Buffalo Bills. They're winning 3 now. Moved them a couple spots from 5 last week. Like you just said, they beat the Lions, so they beat a good Lions team. Josh Allen has looked really good lately. Unless he just does terrible the next 3 games, he's clinched MVP pretty much. So yeah, good to them. Number 2 got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 13-1 now. Them up one spot from 3 last week. Beat the Browns 21-7. It's going to be a good win. We'll see. Mahomes coming back this week. Ankle sprains aren't always the greatest, so we'll see. But I'm going to win. And it's looking pretty good that Brandon House soon Mahomes can be back. They might not get the number 1 seed, but even with the Bills having the tiebreaker, it's going to be tough for the Bills to catch them at this point. So yeah, number 1 got the Philadelphia Eagles. 12-2 now. With them up one spot from 2 last week. They beat the Steelers by double digits, 27-13. So get them there. So yeah, you have a chance number 1 seed. We'll see how the Vikings do the rest of the year. Yeah, and them gonna win. They right now. Do they have them? I haven't looked at the playoff picture lately because yes, Lions just lost, but they have the same record. Let me look and see a playoff picture. Give me a sec, guys. Let's kind of look. So, I'm trying to look at the NFC. There we go. So, say Lions still do have the number 1 seed, but we'll still see how that goes. You have clinched yourself a top 2 seed, so good you there. I should say. Most likely clinch yourself number 2 seed. It's going to be very hard for the Commanders to catch you, but it is still possible. So we'll see what happens. Picking them going. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.